Good morning, dear students. How are you? I hope you are well. I am also well. Today's lesson is completing story, class 11 English first paper. Today's story is of Robert Bruce. We all know about the history of Robert Bruce. At first, in the sense of completing a story, we have to have good comment on any story. Suppose Robert Bruce. The story of Robert Bruce for today. This is selected for your coming examination. Suppose this story is on the question paper. Robert Bruce. Now, at first, you have to remember the before story of Robert Bruce. Suppose we know about Robert Bruce, the story of Robert Bruce. They are given 10 sentences, and I have written at under the 10 sentences answer according to the sequence. Suppose here number A, but he did not give up hope. B, Robert Bruce was a famous king. C, once while lying in a cave, he saw a spider trying to reach the ceiling of the cave. D, Bruce saw the spider climbing to the ceiling after some unsuccessful attempts. E, enemies invaded his kingdom. F, he took shelter in a remote cave. G, being inspired, Bruce gathered an army of strong men and attacked his enemies. H, the spider failed again and again to succeed. I, the enemies were defeated and Bruce regained his kingdom. J, the king fought bravely but lost the battle. Here I have a written answer to the question number according to the sequence of the story. They are given all the 10 sentences, 6s and 7s, and you have to rearrange this story according to the sequence of the story of Robert Bruce. Here at first, if there is given any name of a person, so you have to take it at first. There is some rules and regulations of completing a story. Here B number, Robert Bruce was a famous king. We can take here B, and you have to use arrow token or sign after one word to one. B, at first B, Robert Bruce was a famous king. Then here we can see here E, enemies invaded his kingdom. Then J, the king fought bravely but lost the battle. Then F, he took shelter in a remote cave. C, once while lying in a cave, he saw a spider trying to reach the ceiling of the cave. Then Ace, the spider failed again and again to succeed. Then A, but he did not give up hope. After D, Bruce saw the spider climbing to the ceiling after some unsuccessful attempts. Then G, being inspired, Bruce gathered an army of strong men and attacked his enemies. Then at last I, the enemies were defeated and Bruce regained his kingdom. Here, dear students, on the answer paper, you have to use alphabet of the sentences, selected sentences, then B, arrow sign, E, arrow sign, J, arrow sign, F, arrow sign, C, arrow sign, H, arrow sign, A, arrow sign D, arrow sign G, arrow sign I. Then all the sentences according to the sequence of the history, you have to write down all the selected or right sentences according to, like a paragraph. Here I have written here B. Robert Bruce was a famous king. E. Enemies invaded his kingdom. Then J. The king fought bravely but lost the battle. Then F. He took shelter in a remote cave. Like this, you have to read down all these sentences according to the history of the Robert Bruce or any story. Then this is complete, and I have a very interesting strategy that I can say these answers according to the poem. বাংলাদেশ, ইংল্যান্ড, জাপান ফুটবল ক্রিকেটকে হারিয়ে আবার ঢাকা ঘুরে ইন্ডিয়াতে চলে গেল. ইফ I have said here about this poem of the story according to my strategy, I can say it again this Bangla poem of the story. B means Bangladesh, E means England, J means Japan, F means football, C means cricket, S mean হারিয়ে, A mean আবার, D mean ঢাকা, G mean ঘুরে, I mean India. Like this, if I say again this in the sense of Bangla poem or rhyme, you can say, I can say here again, Bangladesh, England, Japan ফুটবল ক্রিকেটকে হারিয়ে আবার ঢাকা ঘুরে ইন্ডিয়াতে চলে গেল. Okay, dear students, I think this is very interesting and you can follow my this strategy in completing story. Okay, dear students, goodbye for today.